Hello, I'm Dr. Donald Reed, and today we are going to discuss the ethical use of artificial intelligence in grant writing. First, let me say I've been traveling. I do have some congestion. I will probably cough throughout the presentation. Please forgive me, and we will get through this together. Today, we are going to discuss the ethical use of artificial intelligence in grant writing. AI is rapidly changing how organizations develop grant proposals, conduct research, and communicate with funders. While these tools offer tremendous opportunity to improve efficiency and to reduce the administrative workload, they also introduce important ethical responsibilities for our public health organizations. Our goal today is not to debate whether AI should be used. Your organization probably already has a policy on this topic. That decision has largely already been made. Instead, we are going to explore how AI can be used responsibly while maintaining accuracy, transparency, accountability, and public trust. This presentation does not nullify or supersede the university's policy on AI or the organizational policy where you may work. All students and employees must follow the university's honor code and AI usage instructions. Artificial intelligence is already becoming part of everyday grant development. Many grant professionals now use AI to brainstorm project ideas, summarize research articles, organize literature reviews, draft proposal sections, specifically goals and objectives, assist with budget planning or budget justification, and improve grammar and readability. These tools can dramatically reduce the amount of time spent on repetitive tasks. Instead of spending hours organizing information, grant writers can spend more time developing strong partnerships, redefining program ideals and design, and creating competitive proposals. However, AI should always be viewed as an assistant, not the grant writer. AI offers several important advantages. First, it improves efficiency by helping complete routine tasks more quickly. Second, it reduces administrative burden, allowing staff to focus on strategic thinking instead of repetitive editing. Third, it accelerates research synthesis by summarizing large amounts of academic literature. Finally, it supports proposal development by helping organize ideals and improve writing quality. For nonprofit organizations with limited staff and resources, these benefits can make grant writing much more manageable. But efficiency should never come at the expense of quality or your integrity. Like any technology, AI also comes with risk. AI systems sometimes generate fabricated statistics. They sometimes generate false references that appear believable but are completely false. This is called hallucination. It'll also get your grant proposal put in the trash. AI can unintentionally reinforce bias by underrepresenting vulnerable populations or relying on incomplete data. Another concern is transparency. If AI contributes significantly to proposal development, organizations should understand when a disclosure may be ethically appropriate. Privacy is another issue. Sensitive organizational information, HIPAA data, or certain program participant information should never be entered into public AI systems without knowing how that information is stored or used. Finally, there is a danger of over-reliance. AI should never replace your professional judgment. Responsible AI use is built on several core ethical principles. Accountability means that humans, real staff people, not AI, remain responsible for every proposal submitted. Fairness requires us to carefully review AI-generated content for bias and ensure that all populations are represented accurately. Privacy. Privacy means protecting confidential organizational information and participant data. Human oversight. Human oversight reminds us that AI recommendations should always be reviewed by knowledgeable professionals. One of my famous sayings is that local people listen to local people best. Do not let AI take the local voice or the human voice out of your proposals. Finally, transparency. Transparency encourages organizations to be honest about how AI is used while maintaining trust with funders. Let's give you an example. Case study, tobacco cessation grant proposal. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine your nonprofit is applying for funding to reduce tobacco use. The proposal focuses on increasing access to cessation services while addressing health disparities among populations with higher tobacco use rates. Because this proposal affects public health and funding decisions, every statistic, recommendation, and statement should be accurate and evidence-based. When lives and public dollars are involved, ethical AI use becomes especially important. So if you're looking at this slide, a human staff person should verify that every statistic, every statement, every strategy is accurate, factual, and evidence-based. In this example, AI can be extremely helpful. It can summarize tobacco research, identify statistics, draft those need statements, and recommend evidence-based interventions. However, remember, as I said before, AI can also fabricate citations, use outdated statistics, and misinterpret research findings. This is why every fact generated by AI must be verified using trusted resources such as the CDC, the National Institutes of Health, peer-reviewed journals, or other authoritative organizations. Grant reviewers expect evidence, not assumptions. Let me say that again. Grant reviewers expect evidence, not assumptions. And remember, grant reviewers also are probably using AI. So if you do not use AI appropriately, or you take the human voice out of your proposal, they're probably trained to recognize it, and it may cost you your grant funding. Another ethical consideration involves health equity. AI can summarize demographic information and help identify priority populations, but it may overlook important local circumstances or reinforce existing bias. For example, tobacco use often disproportionately affects rural communities, those with lower incomes, certain certain racial and ethnic groups, and individuals with behavioral health concerns. Let me say that again. Tobacco use disproportionately affects those who live in rural communities, lower income populations, certain racial and ethnic groups, and individuals with behavioral health conditions. But if AI produces generic language that ignores these realities, that ignores the impact on your state or your local community, that proposal may fail to accurately represent your community's needs. Human review ensures that local knowledge remains central to the proposal. Human review ensures that local knowledge remains central to your proposal. The question of who owns the proposal. This raises an important ethical question. If AI helps write the proposal, who actually owns it? The answer is simple. The organization submitting the proposal remains fully responsible for everything included in the application. AI cannot accept responsibility for inaccurate information, ethical violations, or funding decisions. Make sure that a staff person is reviewing everything that has been submitted. Grant writers and organizational leaders must review every section, verify every statement, and ensure the proposal accurately reflects the organization's past work and your current capacity. There are several practical steps organizations can take. Always follow your organization's policies regarding AI use. Verify all facts, statistics, and citations before submission. Review proposals carefully for bias or missing perspectives. Maintain human oversight throughout the entire writing process. Most importantly, protect sensitive information by avoid entering confidential data or participant data into public AI systems. These practices allow organizations to benefit from AI while maintaining your organizational and professional integrity. Responsible AI use requires more than individual decisions. It requires organizational policies. Organizations should establish clear guidelines describing how AI may be used during the grant proposal development process. Staff should receive training on both the strength and limitations of AI. Review procedures should require human verification before proposals are submitted. Policy should also address the protection of confidential information, and you should stay up to date as AI technology and funder expectations continue to evolve. This is also especially important if you are conducting an IRB-approved project or you're handling HIPAA-sensitive information. Building these safeguards help organizations use AI consistently and responsibly. As we conclude, remember three key messages. First, AI is transforming grant writing and will continue to become more common. Second, AI introduces ethical risks that require thoughtful human management. Finally, human expertise remains essential. AI should never replace experience, judgment, or ethical responsibility of grant professionals. Instead, it should serve as a tool that supports better decisions, a tool that helps provide stronger proposals, and ultimately better outcomes for the communities that we serve. I'm going to say that again. AI should serve as a tool that supports better decision making, stronger proposals, and ultimately better outcomes for the communities that we serve. I hope this presentation helps you think about the use of AI in grant writing and your personal and professional and organizational responsibility to act consistently and ethically. And in full disclosure, AI was used in the final development of this lecture script. Have a great day.